Hi folks, welcome to another edition of EV Wonder. Today's video is going to cover road trips and road trip essentials, and I'm going to show you a few of the things that I keep in my car to take with me. Most of these are in my car all the time. Some of them I would only take for a road trip, but I want to share a few of these things with you, and maybe you'll have a few extra ideas you can leave in the comments section below. But let's take a look at what's in my car and what I pack along with me when I take a road trip. Okay, a lot of what I take with me I keep in the sub trunk, and there's a lot of room under here, and I take advantage of it. I keep a lot of stuff under here permanently. This stuff is stuff that I feel is essential to take with me all the time. So let me show you some of those things. First of all, the first thing is this handy dandy storage container that fits right into the sub trunk area. It's I got that on Amazon. I'll leave a link for it below, but carries it organizes a lot of the stuff that you keep with you. It has a center section to kind of portion everything off, and I bought that actually before I got the car, so I had this ready when the car showed up. First thing is the charge kit. Don't ever go anywhere without that. I've got what came with the car, the charger. I actually bought an extra one so I would have this on road trips and wouldn't have to unplug when I went on trips. But if you don't take anything else, make sure you take the J1772 adapter. That's extremely handy. But you got your 110 adapter, the NEMA 1440 or something adapter in there. So that's a huge essential. So always take that with you. Second most important thing in my opinion is the flat tire repair kit, and this is one that I bought on Amazon again before I ever had the car. Before my car arrived last April, I had this. So this has the goo inside of it, goop or whatever it is that they call it inside of it, slime. It's actually a slime kit. It's fairly cheap. I believe I bought this for like $15 on Amazon. So another nice essential to keep. Another thing I like to keep are these, and I don't have them folded up great, but I keep 3 of these. These are seat brellas, and these actually are seat covers that go over your seat in case you're out hiking and you get hot and sweaty, or you go for a jog or whatever. These fit nicely right over your driver's seat and actually over the back seats too. If you're wet, if you're out hiking and a rainstorm comes up, you can put these on. It keeps your vegan leather from being destroyed. So I got 3 of those. I keep 3 of those with me at all times. Next, I've got some blankets. I just keep some blankets in here. You never know. So these are ones that you might recognize these if you ever fly. And I don't think American Airlines and Delta needed these, so borrowed those from them. I think they throw them away after each flight anyway, so consider it a goodwill gesture that these didn't end up in a landfill. So also, here's another thing. This is a kind of a multi-tool that's really nice for cars. Can break your glass if needed. You have to use it on the roadside. Can hammer anything, hit somebody in the head perhaps, I don't know. All kinds of saws, knives, and everything inside of there. So that's a handy thing, and it just tucks right down next to the carrier. So I keep it there. In fact, I'll just put it back there so I don't lose it. On the other side, I've got about 3 or 4 different sunshades that I keep in here to cover all the windows in case I'm going to be away from the car all day. But this is an original one. I think actually it's one I had for my old car. It works. I mean, it can work for one of the side windows if necessary. But I keep my other ones up in the passenger compartment, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. I've done this forever. I always keep a thing of gloves and a hat in there in case I run into an issue in the wintertime. I'm stuck out somewhere and need a hat. Used to do it for my kids' baseball games and stuff, we would get caught in some pretty cold weather sometimes, so I keep that handy. This is like a mini sleeping bag, and I'll show you a little bit more about that later, how that can come in handy. Tucks away nicely. This is a little blow-up pillow that takes up absolutely no space whatsoever. Frog Togs, it's a rain suit. If you're ever out and need a rain suit, there it is. Another essential everyone should keep with them is a first aid kit. Has all bandages and scissors and everything else inside of that in case you need it. This is a 12-volt cigarette lighter extension cord. I think it's 12 feet long if I'm not mistaken, and that can come in handy for if you carry an item such as I'll show you in a few minutes. If you need a long distance extension from your cigarette lighter outside of your car, this works very, very nicely. These are falling out, but pucks. Don't leave home without them. If you get caught somewhere out in the boonies and you've got to be jacked up or whatever, your car, not you needs to be jacked up, but if your car needs to be jacked up, always keep these with you. If you got somebody that doesn't know what they're doing as far as jacking your car, these will save your battery perhaps. Pair of binoculars, only got those because they fit and I keep them in there. Sometimes I end up somewhere and see something interesting, wildlife or something, and I always wish I had binoculars. They're with me now. So this is the center hub piece puller for if I want to put my aero caps back on, just stick that in the middle and pop them out. Kind of hard to get out otherwise. This is a flashlight, no batteries. You just pump it and it lights up. That's only, if I needed something for an emergency. I carry a little stool that folds out, and I'll show you these things in detail in just a second. This is a table. I'm going to show you that in a minute. G4 Free makes this. It's available on Amazon. I'll show you that setup shortly. And these are some handy dandy, very compact G4 chairs. And when we went out, took a 6,000 mile trip last year out west, there were many times where we took food with us in a cooler and we stopped and we just undid our chairs and table and had a nice meal outside the car. So I keep 2 of these in here. There's plenty of room for those next to the storage bin. So pretty cool. And just a second, I'll show you how those set up in case you want to get those. But there's plenty of room for 2 of these down in there, plus the table and a stool. While I'm setting up in here, also I just bought this, and if you haven't seen my review for the rear sunshade for the glass and the front sunshade, I keep both of those. I got those for my birthday recently, and so I keep this in the back. Lays nice and flat back there, and can be used to cover the glass if you're parked somewhere for a decent amount of time. I actually have the front one, like I say, installed. All right, in the side cubby I keep some cleaning supplies. I keep 3 microfiber cloths, plus I keep my favorite interior cleaner, Aero Cosmetics interior cleaner, and Aero Cosmetics Wash Wax All. Stay tuned for a video on those coming up shortly, and some Windex wipes for the windshield or the inside of the inside glass if needed. So those come in handy sometimes. Okay, inside I keep some extra. These are these are small little window sunshades that can be moved around. They're just kind of generic ones that have suction cups on them and will stick just about anywhere. I think I've got 3 or 4 of those. I keep down in the pockets here. I always keep those with me Also over here, I've got, I think that's a bigger one. No, it's the same small one. This is my front windshield shade. Again, A1 shades. I got that off of Amazon, fairly cheap. Does a great job. Covers the window perfectly and blocks the sun very well. And again, there is my sunshade for the front portion of the roof. And then over in the door, I almost always keep this here. Actually, I got two of them. There's another one down in there. I keep one over on that side, and I actually keep one on this side too. So I always have the windshield or the umbrellas with me, because you never know. It rains more here in Kentucky anymore than it does in Seattle, I dare say. Okay, inside, up front inside, what do I keep in the glove box? I keep gloves. Another pair of gloves. We saw some of those earlier. I've got a adapter for an Android phone. I have an iPhone, but I keep an Android adapter in here just in case I have a passenger who needs it. Extra pair of Nissan Leaf sunglasses that I got at a car show, and a little USB fan that plugs in. Another thing that I picked up at a car show. So, and that's a little, I think it's a Sierra Club knife set or something. So never hurts to have something extra in case you need it in there. So let's take a look. What do I have in the frunk? On road trips, I keep a nice, long, heavy-duty extension cord for 110. Never used it. I've actually never charged my car on 110. I assume it works, but I always keep this just in case, especially for long trips, because you never know. You never know when you may need this. So, okay, let me cover. I'm gonna set up the chairs for you real quick and show you what those look like. Your table, sir? Table for three? Okay, I want to show you what is probably the best deal and one of my favorite things I've ever bought on Amazon, and that's this plug-in to your cigarette lighter electric cooler. I take this with me on just about every trip I go on. Keeps very nicely in the hotel room. Plugs in to your cigarette lighter. I got this actually for like 35 bucks on Amazon because it was a return. I think it had a little blemish. There's a little blemish or something on or right there. It's discolored on the cooler right there. Works fine. Plug it into the adapter. Makes a little bit of a fan noise, but it's just a white noise really. It doesn't bother me at all. But also I bought this extra. Like when you get to a hotel, you can just plug this in that adapter and into the wall, and it'll keep your stuff cold during the night while you sleep. I usually don't leave it in the car overnight, but during the day while you're traveling, it's great. I think it's called inductive cooling, where it kind of cools everything down 35 degrees lower than what the outside temperature is. It doesn't have any refrigerant in it, but great. I can't say enough about this thing. It's a Wagon. And I'm not sure what model it is, but it's a excellent cooler, and again, excellent buy for the money. I think normally it's 79 or 80 bucks, but still, when you're on a long road trip, not having to fool with stopping to get ice all the time and dumping the water out and worried about your food and stuff inside the cooler getting wet and drowning in the melted ice that's in there, can't beat this. So even at the full price, I'd highly recommend that. I would give it a 5-star rating, but it was an incredible purchase for me, and I absolutely love it for road trips. So take a look at that. Okay, I'm going to try something else now that I've actually never done myself, but I'm sure it can be done because I've seen other people try it. So I'm actually going to sleep in my car. Let's see if it can be done. I'll set everything up and we'll see how it works out. Now, keep in mind, I'm 6 feet tall, so that's probably an average height for most people, maybe a little taller than some. But let's see what it looks like for me if I were to have to sleep in my car during a road trip. And I plan on doing this at some point, so let's see how it works. Okay, remember I had the small portable sleeping bag or blanket in the car earlier. I had the blow-up pillow. The one thing that I didn't have was the sleeping mat. I don't carry this on a regular basis. However, if I were inclined to camp in my car, this would definitely be something I would take along with me. So let's put this together. Okay, I'm up about as far as I can get without my head going off of the end here. So my feet are at the end, probably sticking out. They are sticking out a little bit. I can move up just a hair, and that's not too bad. I usually sleep on my side anyway with my legs bent, but the sleeping pad's very nice, very comfortable. Blanket's warm. It's 85 degrees outside, so I'm burning up. But yeah, this can be done. It's not too bad at all as far as the comfort goes. So I like this. So it's very possible. Like I say, the shorter you are, the better. But this will work. Okay, I've got the trunk closed, and I'm going to try to actually get in and stretch my legs out with the trunk closed. Coming through the side door instead of going through the back. So I'm not the most limber person in the world, but let's see how this works out. Okay, I've got my legs completely stretched out here. And again, I'm a side sleeper, so this is the normal position I would be in while I was sleeping. Very, very comfortable to me. Yeah, this is definitely doable. Okay, one final thing I want to show you, which is a nice road trip accessory to have, are the roof rack bars. So that you can mount a cargo carrier on top, especially if you're going to sleep inside the car like I just demoed. This would be, it'd be nice to have all of your stuff up on top of the car instead of having to rearrange it on the inside and sleep around it, especially if there were two of you. And I'm sure two people can fit in the back there. Maybe I'll do a video on that, but I do have a Thule cargo carrier. Having the cargo box on top is going to give you much more room on the inside for sleeping, but at a cost of range, quite definitely. So you got to just figure out what's more important to you: sleeping in your car or the range. So as long as you're going somewhere where you've got plenty of superchargers available to you, I'd go ahead and slap the box on top of the car and go that route. So. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you're buying a Model 3, a Model S, a Model X, or a Model Y, use my referral code and get some free supercharger miles. It's Richard76698. Thanks again for watching, and see you next time.